Hello, my love. Welcome to tea leaf readings. My name is Lenore, and today we're going to read your tea leaves together. You're going to help me out in the comments. You're going to tell me what you see. You're going to tell me all about what you're feeling, how you connect with some of these things. I want to hear from you. So, thank you for being here. The energy is weird. Right? I don't know what it is. Right now, I'm filming this on Monday the 9th. It will come out probably on Tuesday the 10th. I don't know. I might put it out today. I'm not sure. But the energy feels very strange. I mean, everything's been chaotic, right? But I swear, those sightings of comets or not comets, meteorites coming down in the sky, I'm just like looking for a reason, right? But I swear it is like they really, something, right? Something has impacted the energy. It's not that other thing that's going on in the world that, you can probably think of endless things it could be. But we're gonna keep on going. Right? We're not going to stop. We have things to do. Okay, so I don't know how I'm going to say this one, especially because it's like right in the beginning of the reading. So this UCK missing letter up here, but it maybe sounds like fuh. Okay, so just big, right? And I get it. I was outside all yesterday doing yard work, and I'm so happy. I feel so privileged to be able to go outside and be in the warm a little bit, and I got a little sun, but also just the ability to, like, I don't know, cry, scream a little bit, laugh, run, do stuff with my daughter. But there was this feeling that, I just had to release some pent up energy. And I feel like a lot of us, we're just at this point where we're like, what is there, what else do we scream at this point? So, we begin with this energy, but that's not it, right? That's not the only thing. It can feel like the most important thing, but that's part of the mind virus that it is, right? It is all of this just barrage of highly stressful things going, throughout the day. How many happen in one day? If you're watching the news or talking to people, you hear about it. It's just one thing after another, and that's on purpose, right? It's on purpose. I don't know exactly how, if it's just now we have, availability to so much more information, and, as life is, things happen everywhere all the time, every single day. And now we're hyper focused on certain things that really are good at, like, hitting those emotional places within us, right? I think that's part of it. But also, things are just, we feel the energy. I keep talking about it on my readings. I can't not. Like, it's like my whole body feels like I just need to shake it out. I feel like these moments of just being, like, stuck. Like, I'm stuck. My energy is not flowing. I feel out of sync with the world around me because it doesn't feel like what I'm reading about. You know what I mean? Like, my direct private world At points it does, of course, when I go out. Let me just say, I live rural. Okay, so if I didn't want to see people, I wouldn't have to, right? But when I get around, the city or towns or whatever, yeah, you can kind of feel more of that energy. But I feel like for a lot of us, it's like really affecting us physically, right? I don't know about you, but I just have had to go so hard with the intentional movement because if I don't get it out, I feel like a kid, right? Like let's take them to the park, get all that energy out, because if I don't, I just feel sad, angry, rage at times. And I don't know. Maybe because it's Monday, for me, of course things happen all weekend, but like Mondays, the news cycle really gets intense. And I just can't, I need to stop looking at it. That's what I'm hearing myself say here. It's like, stop looking. Why are you doing this to yourself? We have the number 23. Okay. Yeah, let's not sink anymore, Lenore. We're just going to keep it moving. We also have the letters M and T. M and T, we also have a goat right here. Okay. And we have a person sitting. You can see like the boot, the leg. I almost imagine like a little couch in an apartment with like just a table and a lamp, and it's minimal. It's like a transitional kind of apartment setting, like the classic I just moved out, or the classic kind of, the divorce kind of apartment, or, something that feels almost kind of liminal. It's a very like transitory feeling here. But there's love. Look, we have a heart here. We have a heart here. Now, with that goat, I feel like it's less about like a Capricorn person and more about this energy of being able to navigate difficult situations, where I think that you've really been able to kind of twist yourself away from really catastrophizing, maybe like me, like I don't be me. I'm not like this every day, or I'll be fine in a few hours, I'm sure, but I go through my moments. Also, it's my moon time, so there we go. But not to say that's completely it, but it is a factor. I do feel a heightened emotional connection to the universe right now. But the goat is really like, if you imagine you're looking at like a cliff, a rock face, and you think, I'd have no idea how would you even begin to get up that, right? But then you see there's, a couple goats just standing there with their little, tiny little speck of rock jutting out, and there's, little hoof is on it. And you just can't even imagine, like, how could you even find that? But it is the energy I feel that you have. Absolutely. You are somebody who almost maybe thrives on problem solving. Like, you need problems to problem solve. So when life hands you a lot of stuff to deal with, and not only privately but more existentially or collectively, I think that you're really good at like throwing yourself into gear. So even though there's a lot of unknowns, and there's kind of this like, well, somewhat like oppressive energy, because we really have not a lot of choice in things that are happening right now, right? And so I just feel this sense of like necessity, feeling necessary in your own life, purpose, a lot of purpose here. So I don't think that you are willing to like kind of sit and dwell in the lament of it all. You know, I think that you're okay with the transition into something different. You are good with change. Now, we also have, it looks like the number 2038, 2038. Okay, so we kind of have it almost looks like a person, like here's the person right here. We have a cat or some kind of, like a cat, maybe the eyes, here's the head, the little ears, tail right out, legs. We have two hills. And they both look like they have, this one almost looks like it has like a cross or something on top of it. And this one looks to me like it's a flower, there's a heart. There are people that look like, maybe even they're praying. You can see like the head raised up and the hand up in a prayer kind of vibe. So, to me, we have people, we have one here, 2, 3, maybe 2 children, one person, one adult, holding an owl. Here's an owl. People in maybe suits, 2 of them talking. And it looks like a person praying here. Here's the head, arm up right here by the face, and then kind of this body that also looks like it has a rose. So very like a Sophia kind of energy. Kind of that rosy crux energy as well. We have the number 7. We have a solar disc in the middle as well. So, okay, so to me, this feels so much like there's just like a doom, right? Like almost like a Bosch kind of painting. And I think of Bosch because I like surreal stuff. I'm a fan of the surreal. But it's so, like, the paintings are so bizarre, right? And there's just a lot going on where, you know, some of the motifs are things that you would think would be more like a positive, like the Garden of Delight or whatever, just based on the title. And there are things that are also kind of almost horrific or strange or bizarre or, you know, whatever. To me, it speaks to the spectrum of phenomena in any given thing, right? We tend to like to categorize things like with this hyper, you know, like a narrow room for any kind of deviance or what have you, right? But like I feel like in this kind of open, and I'm envisioning something like, you know, these bizarre paintings, and they usually would be in 3 pieces, right? And I forget what, like a trifold, I forget what that's called. It's like 3 paintings that go together into one bigger one. And there just seems to be almost this kind of like circus energy, right? And you know, this kind of absurdity, or at times like a very distinct and frightening seriousness, and at other times, you know, just kind of joy and togetherness. And I feel like as you are moving through this landscape, that it really seems increasingly more and more bizarre. I kind of almost, like imagine like a Terrence McKenna's, on a hero quest type of deal, and I'm not saying heroic amount of plant medicine, but I'm talking just in the looseness of thinking, right? And the ability to not cling to very material or empirical beliefs, okay? And the ability to kind of flow through symbols and concepts and experience and so on and so forth. And if I've lost you at this point, then maybe you don't you might be like, what the heck? I obviously I'm talking about Terrence McKenna and Bosch, and so you can tell I've been a psychonaut at times in my life. So I do maybe come from a certain kind of imagery, or a variety of them, since I've been into many journeys, a variety. But it just feels like, to me, you are losing the boundaries of what is and what isn't, and what's true and what's not true, and what is what can happen and what can't, right? Your mind is losing its tether to the conditioning of the old. Even those who have done a lot of self-work, you can still often tell that, like, it's like we tie a little string around our big toe to keep us planted, right? So we don't go off into the madman or the madness of the esoteric journey, or the alchemy of self, the interior landscape can become so many things that you might get lost. It's not unlike this feeling of like the fae. Like, don't follow them back to where don't eat their food, because if you eat their food, you're gonna be stuck over there. Well, I would excuse me, I would say that the veil is thinning. I don't know how else to, the veil is thinning. That, or I'm going completely crazy. Probably both. I don't know. I think part of it, unfortunately, I am good at compartmentalizing, where, I have this very strong and dominant identity as mother and house, runner and wife and, friend and this thing that I am in my personal life. And then, and it flows through all parts, of course, but then there's the magic, right? The interior work, the place where things get a little bit sketchy, right? And when you have, a profound relationship with that place and those archetypes that you have activated there, yeah, man, it's easy to get lost, but we can't. So I feel like as your perception, as your worldview, as your kind of experience of reality is shifting, you are also staying tied to, the world. It's not like you've totally lost, what is the word? Lost the plot, right? You're still on path, but I feel like you know, to be able to survive the landscape, the things that are going to be likely taking place in these next few years. You're going to have to lean into the absurdity and let go of, or I don't know, maybe people, if you shelter in your belief, your wherever the timeline kind of like bent a little bit, what if you still have that programming running, maybe you can shelter in it. I don't know. I don't. I don't, but I really, the undoing has been going on for a long time with me. So, and a lot of us, I imagine you as well. So, I don't know. I think we're just really going to have to, embrace the absurdity, the cosmic joke. I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I can really think of. I mean, when it comes down to it, like, I'm preparing in a lot of ways in the physical world because of my daughter. Obviously, like, I don't abandon that tie at all. So I'm going to do what I can. But the higher thinking is, dude, like, what can you do? You're not supposed to do you're supposed to be focused on, whatever the work is. Boy, but it's hard, right? It's hard. So, thank you for being my therapist or therapy or I'm able to talk to you. You don't have to give me any advice unless you want to, then you can. But be nice. We're being nice around here from now on. The hour is too short to be scrapping unless you have to. All right, we also have the letters T-A and the praying. I was just talking to somebody in my life, and shout out to my sister cousin if you're listening. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but she was telling me that some people in her church had prayed for her, and it definitely had, a noticeable effect in her life. Now, of course, this is anecdotal, but I am a true believer in prayer. I mean, I pray a lot. There are different ways to pray, of course. And what somebody might call prayer, somebody else might not, and that, whatever, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, to get into the habit of, right? Even just talking to yourself, even just going through those first motions and then talking to the divine or whatever it is for you. It is the key to something that we have so long kind of just taken as, I mean, I don't know about you, even as a practitioner, I often am like, well, even if it's a placebo, what does that mean? Do I believe or do I not? But I don't know. Sometimes I got, 1 foot on one side, 1 foot on the other. I don't know. I don't always know, but then I know. And you know when you know. If you know, you know. Period. And what I know is that prayer is a key. It helps give us access to that thing. It's a spiritual field of energies. Maybe it's different fields laid upon each other, crisscrossing. I don't know. But it is woven through our whole existence. And I know that. I don't know how I know it, but I know it. Okay? So, I really feel like there is something within prayer for you. Now, I know a lot of people are very resistant with anything that has to do with like a religious practice, okay? We can think of this as, self-talk. It could be, communication of your thoughts, your feelings in an audible way. And that in itself might be helpful, right? Whatever it is, I feel like it's something that, in a way, and I don't just mean prayer, I mean like communicating with ourselves fluidly and without shame, is really taught out of us. Daydreaming, imaginary friends, even talking to yourself. Why is there such a taboo about communicating with yourself? No, you don't think that's weird? I think it's hella weird that people don't talk to themselves. Like, what? Some people maybe do, and they just say they don't. I don't know. But here's the deal. I think it's good for everybody, but I think for you, there's something there. There's something there. And something is shifting. I have to share something. So I do not practice Selima. I'm not a Thelemite. If you know what that is, I use the Thoth deck, so you might, but I am adjacent to it. You know what I mean? Like, I have, my early beginnings are mostly at that point socially interacting with people, especially men, that, I don't know. I haven't, even at this age, 20 years in, I don't know that I've really met that many women that actually have stayed in the system for more than a short time. But anyways, I have a long history with it. I read some of the texts here and there. I'm not like a devotee or anything. I don't, I've always had interest in maybe doing like the AA work or whatever, but I just haven't. And I don't know, I'm a free agent, baby. I mean, that's really what, I don't want to align myself with stuff. I will study systems, but I don't want to align myself. Well, anyways, so I've been going through a text, right? And I've been using it, I don't know, maybe on and off for like the last 6 months as I was finishing up an operation that had been going on for many years. That is a magical operation. It's like, if you think of like one ritual that, whatever, that's one ritual. An operation's like a lot of rituals that kind of all have a common, and it's not just ritual, it's a lot of things, lifestyle and, whatever, meditation, postures, learning, education's a huge part of it. But one operation's like a grouping, and then now I'm in between. I'm about to start a new operation, which I'm very excited about. And also very profoundly sad about the ending of the last operation. But now, okay, so the point is, I'm using this book I'm reading through it. It's one of his more poetic ones. I think it's the LVX. And, I start having in every little area, right, the little lines, and they each are numbered, they're passages, I should say, they're numbered. I've been receiving visual symbols. I've never done that with Crowley's work, or, I have with other things when it's focused, but I'm just now like informally studying, right? I'm not doing ritual, but it has been so intensely profound the last, 5 days or so. And I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody about it, right? I'm in between beginning operations, so I'm not directly working with my magical partner. And So I just haven't brought it up, but I had to say it to somebody because just before I started, I had 3 intense visions about it. And one of them I'll tell you. Well, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. Okay, I'll tell you. It was a cube. It was a cube. And on all of the corners were little golden balls. Like they were capping it. So anyways, I have to go draw it all out and stuff and then scry that as well. But, yeah, I don't know. I have really bad anxiety and I feel, I don't know. I need to be outside. That's what it is. So anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for listening to me ramble all the time. I know it's just hard. It's hard. Everything feels so all over the place sometimes. Also, it's Monday morning. My daughter did not want to go to school today. We're thinking about homeschooling next year. I think it's just, I don't know. I think we need to, I like to have her home. I like to be with her. What can I say? Okay, so we have the seven and the solar disc. To me also, it feels like you are coming into like almost like a passageway, it's like a round, what is it? Like coming into your time. Maybe it's an office that has like a weird shape to it. I don't know. But I feel like there's this intense moment of you have an opportunity to do something for money. A side gig, maybe it's somebody you work with. They can hook you up with like, something to do. And I think that this is going to feel like it came out of nowhere. I mean, just like you were praying, right? Praying. You were praying on it, and then like the next day, all of a sudden. Now, I'm not saying they're just going to hand you the money, but you have an opportunity, right? So, let's see. We also have... It literally looks like it says Lent to me. Lent. And so, obviously, we're in Lent. Maybe you don't know that. But it's Lent right now, leading up to the Passion Week within the Christian faith. And this is a time... And Ramadan's still going on too, right? I don't know. That's terrible. Probably. I think so. The month of Ramadan. I think it ends... I don't know. I have to look it up. I'm sorry I don't remember that. The news is like brainworming me, you guys. It really is. My nervous system feels... I was watching the news too much when I wasn't outside working. The first day... Friday, I don't know, whatever it was. Too much news. And then the rest of the weekend, I felt like I was just like trying to detoxify my like whole being. And I'm still nervous because I got up and immediately, and I tried not to do this, I looked at the news. Why? I was like telling myself, I'm just going to see what the weather's going to be like so I can pull out the right clothes for my daughter. And I look at the news. It's the worms in my brain. Anyways, I totally forgot where... Oh, Lent. Oh, yeah. So Lent, to me, really, as a symbol, because I'm not going into the history of what Lent is and fasting and all of that. But to me, it's about a sacrifice, right? In your life, putting something aside that you seek comfort in, sugar, caffeine, traditionally meat, right? Putting it aside during this time as part of a honoring, a devotion of your faith, right? So when I see this, it's not about like what you believe in exactly or what you call it or, are you religious or not or spiritual or not? It doesn't matter. At times in our life, we have to sometimes diverge from what we have been like shielding, using as a shield or like as something to distract or like numb ourselves out or, and we all do. It's very insidious to believe that only certain people have problems. You have to be an addict. You're an addict. You have addiction. We all do, bro. Like, we're all addicted to so many things. It's not funny, or reliant. I shouldn't say addicted so much as reliant on things. And, when this comes up, it tells me that we need to put something aside, right? Now, I'm observing Lent as well, although I'm not, I'm not aligned with any religion, right? I do honor and appreciate the religions. Of course, you can see the variety. So anyways, I think, maybe think of something that you can put to the side for like a week or something, like chilling on the coffee or, or screen times or, not eating out this week or, whatever it is. I mean, like reasonable stuff. I'm not saying, I know a dude that just did a 21-day water fast. And like he worked and has kids. And like I would see him in real life. So like, I was like, I'm not asking you to do that. That's like a real that's like deeply, that's a lot of restraint and a lot of surrender. And also, I don't know how healthy it is for probably most people, I would say. You kind of really have to be prepared for something like that. But yeah, definitely, something manageable. Just, like you want to watch a movie, this time you're going to read the book instead. Or even just reading. That's a big thing I'm making myself do is read. I've been reading short story collection. If you have any good recommends for collections of short stories, that went right off the thing. Come on. There we go. Number 3. Ooh, yes. Number 3. That's what I like to see. The triad is activated. 16 and 85. All right. Well, my loves, thank you for being here. Thank you for sitting with me as I rambled through so much of that. But I really I love you so truly, heart to heart. I know it's not easy, but we're going to get through it, dude. Like we always do. It is what it is. We roll with the punches, and if, I don't know, you grew up with any kind of hardship, and you're from the old world like myself, it's just sometimes you have to just get on through it, and, it's not always pretty, but we survive. I love you. We'll talk soon.